Everyone who entered the tomb, the story goes, was marked for death. This is the golden mask of Tutankhamun, a boy who ruled Egypt more than 3,000 years ago and was almost entirely forgotten. When his tomb was opened in 1922, it became the most famous discovery in the history of archaeology. And then people started to die. The newspapers had a name for it: the Curse of the Pharaohs. To understand the curse, you first have to understand the find, and it starts in the Valley of the Kings. This is Howard Carter, an English archaeologist who had spent years searching the valley for one thing. His patron was a wealthy aristocrat, Lord Carnarvon, who had funded the dig season after season with nothing to show for it. By 1922, Carnarvon was nearly out of patience. He gave Carter one final season. On the 4th of November, a water boy clearing sand stumbled on a stone step cut into the valley floor. Carter dug down and found a sealed doorway. He covered it back up and sent a telegram to Carnarvon in England. Then he waited. 3 weeks later, with Carnarvon beside him, Carter made a small hole in the door and held up a candle. Carnarvon asked if he could see anything. Carter's reply became the most famous line in archaeology. "Yes," he said. "Wonderful things." The tomb was packed with treasure. Gold, statues, chariots, jewelry, all left almost untouched for over 3,000 years. It was, and still is, the most intact royal tomb ever found in Egypt. Clearing that tomb was not a quick raid on a pile of gold. It took the better part of 10 years. Every single object was numbered, drawn, photographed, and recorded before anyone moved it. Carter's photographer, Harry Burton, took well over 1,000 glass plate photographs. That careful record is how we still see the tomb today. No burial in Egypt had ever been documented so completely. Carter wrote down everything he saw. Hold on to that. This was a man who logged every inscription, every seal, every mark on the walls, because later people would swear he had found a curse carved above the door. His own meticulous records are how we know he did not. 5 months after that first glimpse inside, Lord Carnarvon was dead. He died in a hotel in Cairo at the age of 56. The cause was blood poisoning from an infected mosquito bite on his cheek that he had cut open while shaving. It was an ordinary way to die in 1920s Egypt, where infection killed people all the time. But the timing was extraordinary. The man who funded the opening of the Pharaoh's tomb was dead within months of entering it, and the newspapers of the world knew exactly what they had. The story that ran was that an ancient curse, written over the door of the tomb, had struck the desecrators down. There was just one problem. There was no such inscription over the door. No curse was carved anywhere in Tutankhamun's tomb. Archaeologists who cataloged every object never found one. The curse was an invention of the press, and it sold an astonishing number of newspapers. But the legend needed fuel, and the deaths kept coming. The story collected every death it could tie, however loosely, to the tomb. A member of the excavation team died. So did a visitor who had toured the site. Carnarvon's half-brother died the following year. Each death was added to the curse's growing list. One story claimed the ancient texts themselves warned of death for anyone who disturbed the king. The Book of the Dead was quoted as proof. The public was told the count of the dead climbed higher every year, and the strangest coincidences were folded in. Carnarvon's dog back in England was said to have died the same night he did. The lights of Cairo, the story went out at the moment of his death. Each new detail made the curse feel less like chance and more like a pattern. But a pattern is easy to see when you only count the hits. So who was really on that list, and who was left off it? Once the curse existed, it was hungry. It did not stop with Lord Carnarvon. The press did not wait for logic. If a name could be linked to the tomb, a death could be linked to the curse. George J. Gould, a wealthy American, visited soon after the discovery and fell ill. When he died of pneumonia, the papers counted him. Richard Bethel, Carter's own secretary, died in 1929. Counted, the list kept growing. By one newspaper's tally, the curse had claimed more than 20 people by the 1930s. But that number was built on a trick, and the trick is the whole point. Anyone connected to the tomb who died became proof. Anyone connected who lived was simply forgotten. It has a name: survivorship. Count only the deaths in any large group over enough years, and you can make almost anyone look cursed. This is where the legend starts to fall apart. One of the loudest voices promoting the curse was the writer Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes, a famous believer in the supernatural, told the press the deaths could be the work of ancient spirits. His name gave the story weight. But belief is not evidence. And the evidence was standing in plain sight the whole time. The man who should have died first by any logic of a curse was Howard Carter himself. He was the one who broke the seals, entered the chamber, and opened the coffin with his own hands. Carter lived another 16 years. He died in 1939, at the age of 64, of natural causes. The person most exposed to the tomb was almost the last of the team to die. And he was not alone. The chief conservator who handled the mummy and the treasures for years lived into old age. Person after person who spent the most time in that tomb simply went on with their lives. The curse, it turned out, was very selective about who had noticed. In 2002, a doctor decided to actually test it. He tracked down the records of the people present at key moments, the opening of the tomb, the sarcophagus, the coffins, and compared how long they lived. The finding was published in a medical journal. There was no difference in lifespan between those exposed to the tomb and those who were not. No curse effect at all. The people the newspapers called doomed lived just as long as everyone else. To be fair, there is one honest question buried under all the nonsense. Could a sealed tomb hold something genuinely dangerous? Decades later, scientists asked exactly that, with no ghosts involved. Ancient sealed spaces can harbor mold. One fungus, Aspergillus, turns up in old tombs, and in a vulnerable person, its spores can cause a serious lung infection. So, a few researchers proposed that in rare cases, tomb air might sicken those who breathed it. That is a reasonable thing to study. But a real mold is not a curse, and it does not fit Lord Carnarvon at all. He did not die of ancient air in his lungs. He died from an infected mosquito bite he cut open while shaving. The honest truth needed no magic to explain it. So why did the story survive when the facts did not? Because a boy king, buried in gold and guarded by a curse, is a far better story than an infected mosquito bite. Tutankhamun was a minor pharaoh who died young and was forgotten for millennia. The curse is what made him immortal. It gave the whole world a reason to remember his name. The treasures are real. The boy king was real. The curse was the one piece that never was. Hindsight moments, true stories, known or not.